feeling? You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Nearly a month ago, on the 17th of August, the sleepy village of Murdoch was shaken to its core when it became the site of a gruesome massacre. As yet, the police have no leads on the killer other than the sole survivor, a newcomer to the village, Frank Hayes. What are the facts? Did Mr. Hayes really murder his own two brothers? Or is it, as some locals believe, the work of something altogether supernatural? Join me as I interview Mr. Hayes, an anonymous police constable, and some locals to find out what really happened on the night of the Murdoch Massacre. I'm Samantha Westwood. You're watching Uncorrect Cases. It was an unusually chilly August night when Frank Hayes went camping with his two older brothers, Spencer and Ian, to celebrate their move to Murdoch. Little did they know this would be the last camping trip they would ever spend together. Upon finding a suitable spot to set up camp, they lit a fire and began drinking. According to Frank, this was when a lone stranger wandered into their camp and became aggressive, demanding that they leave immediately before collapsing to the ground. Frank was the first to approach the man, believing he required urgent medical care. But, to his surprise, the man attacked him, pushing him back forcefully and causing Frank to collide with a tree and lose consciousness. When Frank came to, several hours later, he was greeted by a gruesome sight. Both Spencer and Ian were dead, mauled gruesomely by the assailant. Frank, having only sustained minor injuries, rushed to the local authorities, where they quickly began to investigate the attack and saw to Frank's wounds. The police are currently investigating the incident, but do not yet have any leads. Frank himself is their main suspect, as he was the last to see his brothers alive. Yet, without any tangible evidence, he is not currently charged with any crimes. But with no other leads to investigate, the court of public opinion is not in the village newcomer's favour. Frank, of course, vehemently denies any wrongdoing. His family have told us they are on his side and support him in this desperate time. However, there are some quiet whispers around the solemn streets of Murdoch that this was no crazed killer, but an altogether different beast. A local urban myth of a giant wolf-like creature, not quite man, not quite animal. The result of an ancient curse set upon the town by a witch long ago, affectionately named the Murdoch Mutt, what many of us would know from popular media as a werewolf. I sat down with Frank Hayes, who kindly agreed to share more details about the recent incident in Murdoch Woods. Let's start at the beginning. When did you move to Murdoch?
I moved to Murdoch just over a month ago, not too long ago at all.
And why did you choose to move here?
It's a quiet, sleepy village. I think that it suits me better. I don't really enjoy living in the city very much, so I moved down here for a quieter life. There's a little bit more opportunity for work in the nearby towns. That's why I moved here, really.
You moved here with your two brothers, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And what was the relationship like between you and your brothers?
Brotherly. It was good. We were very close. We went camping often. We have done since we were children. We used to camp in the back garden at our parents' house, and of course it seems to have been their downfall.
Would you be able to take me through the events of the 17th of August, please?
Myself, Spencer and Ian had decided that we were going to go camping because there is a vast woodland bordering Murdoch. And we left fairly early in the day, travelled around the woods. We set up camp, we put the tents up, built a small fire. We'd brought some beer with us, and we were sat around the fire drinking when we all started to hear the sound of a male voice.
What sort of time was this?
Oh, well, it was coming up to about, probably around about 11 o'clock at this point, quite late on in the night. You'd think we'd be pretty tired, but we're pretty used to camping. We're all avid hikers, so it seemed fine to only have the fire going around about that time, and I think we planned to bed down around about 1 o'clock.
And it was dark by that point?
It was, yes. It had gone completely pitch black by then.
So what happened after you lit the fire?
Well, as I was saying, we lit the fire, and after having a few drinks, we started to hear a male voice calling out in distress. So we got up, and suddenly out of the darkness of the woods, a figure emerged, a gentleman, somewhat dishevelled, screaming for help. I approached, and as I went to see if he was all right, he attacked me and screamed, "Get away." He barged into me, and I smacked against a nearby tree, at which point I blacked out.
So you must have had a bad concussion?
Yes, I don't exactly know for how long I'd lost consciousness, but I believe I was out for some time. And of course, the scene to which I awoke was harrowing. Of course, naturally, I attempted to look for Ian and Spencer, but of course, when I found them, they had passed away. They seemed to have been attacked rather viciously, and to be perfectly frank with you, there was body parts strewn about the woodland, and their chest cavity had been opened. It was awful. It was really awful.
Over the past month, there's been a lot of publicity about this case. What would you say to those that say that you're responsible for this crime?
Well, I think it's disgusting. I mean, I don't know who would be so sick in the head to accuse me of something like that. I mean, those are my two brothers. I mean, we've never fought. We've never had any problems with each other. And I defy anyone to... I mean, look, seriously, would somebody who had gone and murdered their own brothers have something like this? I'm sorry, I don't know if you can show this on television, but seriously, that's what I would say to them.
Can we get a close-up of this? Should we take a break? Let's take a break. Okay. After that shocking display, we took a short break to give our interviewee a moment to collect his thoughts. We will return to Frank shortly, after speaking to a local police officer who is choosing to remain anonymous regarding this investigation. You are a member of the local police force, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I work for the police force and have done for 17 years.
And you wish to remain anonymous for the duration of this interview, is that right?
Yes, it is, yes.
You told us that you wish to express some concerns with us regarding the recent Murdoch Massacre. Tell us about these concerns.
Well, it is my belief that certain facts are being willfully withheld from the public by the police in a deliberate cover-up.
And what details are those?
My main concern is that the results of the current police investigation do not align with the details being fed to the public. The official narrative at present is that this was likely a single male assailant, perhaps wielding multiple sharp weapons. However, the eyewitness testimony does not mention any weapons. And furthermore, the injuries sustained by Mr. Hayes and his brothers are not, at least in my opinion, at all consistent with those of any sharp tools, but instead more consistent with those of a morning, like from a medium to large sized predatory animal.
You okay, Frank?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. When you decided to camp here in the woods, were you aware of the local superstitions around the town?
My neighbour had mentioned them. He seemed rather serious when he told me, but I didn't really take any notice, no.
Are you a sceptical type yourself, or do you believe in the supernatural?
I'd say I'm religious, but no, I don't believe in any folklore, anything supernatural. Don't believe in ghosts, ghouls, goblins, witches, that sort of thing. That's all just children's stories as far as I'm concerned.
Are you comfortable taking us to the scene of the crime?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I can take you there.
Great, appreciate that, thank you.
Okay. You do realise it's quite far away?
That shouldn't be a problem, it should be okay, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we go now?
Let's go. So, it's your belief that this was some kind of animal attack, despite the contradictory testimony of Mr. Hayes depicting a murder committed by a man?
Mr. Hayes' testimony states that a dishevelled man attacked him with such force that he was knocked back into a tree, leading to a concussion and leaving grievous wounds on his chest. Yet, despite this otherwise unassuming man with an average frame, he was strong enough to wound and repel Mr. Hayes in a single strike, and subsequently ripped apart two otherwise healthy and fit men. That is no ordinary person, in my opinion.
It sounds like you're referring to the legend of the Murdoch Mutt. Is that what you're suggesting?
That's what happened.
In your opinion?
Yeah.
Tell us more about the official police narrative. What is it they are saying which you believe to be false?
Well, while the victims were viciously attacked and sustained injuries consistent with a mauling, it does not appear that there is any evidence of the creature having consumed their flesh. The injuries are mostly scratches and minimal bite marks, but very little torn away or missing flesh, save for, well, that leads me to the evidence that the police are using to suggest that this was a calculated homicide. You see, the hearts of the two deceased victims had been removed and have yet to be located, but they were in...
Sorry, to clarify, you said that the deceased were missing their hearts?
Indeed, the hearts were crudely removed, torn from their chests. But certainly they did not appear to have been cut out with the use of any sharp implements.
This is harrowing information. But I must ask, why would the police be hiding these details from the public on purpose? What reason would they have to keep such details hidden?
The police cannot be seen to endorse publicly what the rest of the village know to be true. There are things that live in the dark, that go bump in the night. Monsters.
Without wishing to pry too deeply, what do you believe happened regarding Mr. Hayes and his late brothers, Spencer and Ian?
In my opinion, this was the work of some kind of creature that is both ferocious like an animal, but malicious like a man. this was an attack by the Murdoch Mutt.
Do you truly believe in such things?
I do. In fact, I know these things are out there. I know the Mutt lives in the woods. Everyone in Murdoch knows not to go out into the woods on the night of the full moon. It just so happened that these lads were new in town and failed to heed the warning of the locals.
What would you have the police do? Go hunting for a monster in the woods?
I don't know. Perhaps. At the very least, make more of an effort to keep folks from going into the woods at night. Especially on a full moon.
So, Frank, this is the location where the incident happened. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And this must be very difficult for you. But would you be able to take us through the events of that night?
Yes. So around here is where we had our camp. Just off in the distance is where we had set up our tents. Just to the left of us here is where we had our campfire. And just behind me here is the direction from where the stranger emerged.
And what did the stranger look like?
He was a fairly unremarkable gentleman in most regards. Not particularly tall or short, nor slim or muscular. Fairly average, physically speaking. I did notice that he was somewhat dishevelled. Some of his clothes were torn, and I had noticed that there was some blood on parts of his body. However, I could not discern from where the blood was coming from.
I see. And it was this location here where you were attacked, is that right?
That's right, yes. The gentleman approached from this direction and was somewhat hunched over, and so I couldn't really see many of his features. And so I approached him and went to put my hand on his back to see if he was okay, at which point he struck me in the chest.
I see. And you lost consciousness at this tree, is that right?
That's right, yes. So as he struck me, I fell backwards and stumbled into the tree here, where I seem to have banged the back of my head, and around about then was when I lost consciousness, and I don't remember anything after that point.
Yes. And what do you remember from the moment that you awoke?
Well, from the moment I awoke, I could no longer locate the man in question who had assaulted me. I looked towards the campfire, at which point I'd noticed the bodies of Spencer and Ian.
This has been our report for Uncracked Cases on the Murdoch Massacre. For PTV, I'm Samantha Westwood, signing off.
What I can do is I can use the camera light if I'm filming. It should get us most of the way back so long as we don't run out of film.
Will we have enough tape left for interviewing locals tomorrow?
We should do. I'll keep loads in the van. I never want to be without enough tape on location.
Alright. If one of us breaks our ankle, maybe the studio will give us compensation.
This is PTV. There's no chance they're going to give us a payout for an injury. Do you remember when...
Frank? You okay? What happened?
Oh, shit!
Are you alright?